covered. All sports. Double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with the great man, Sauce. What's happening, brother?
How are we, mates? I'm
good. Sleep deprived.
Sleep deprived, yeah. That's the other thing. Did have a bit of a nap before we jumped on. Running off a solid 2.5 hours sleep after a big night of World Cup football. And
I'm battling, man. I'm battling just to front up here, to be honest. It was so bad last night. Just to give an insight into it, Saucy and I yesterday, we played basketball last night, and I'll tell you what, you know when you're just overtired and you're G'ing yourself up, and that's pretty much what it was. We willed our way to the end of that basketball game.
Right,
I just want to go home and sleep, man.
You see me at the beginning of the game. My attitude was like, all right, I've got some energy at the beginning. Let's try and get a big lead here. You see me, I was yelling, screaming, going off.
If we're not up, he's like, if we're not up by 30 at halftime, I'll be disappointed. I'm thinking to myself, he wants to be up by 30 so we can cruise in the second half here.
Exactly. And we did that because we only put up freaking 8 points in the second half for the whole team when we put up already 30 in the first half.
It was so bad. We actually did get up. We got up by 30, exactly like you said. You were leading. Saucy was literally like, yeah, just going nuts yesterday. Like on every play. And one. He's like, yeah, great team. He's going crazy, clapping back at everyone. I'm like, oh my God.
That was the first half. Then after that, I was just slowly jogging up and down the court.
Yeah, we couldn't hit the backside of the board in the second half. Global, welcome. Good to have you stopping by. Bit on today, NBA, NFL, UFC. I've got a Le Mans, hobby talk, and then, of course, World Cup. We haven't been on the last couple of days for the World Cup wrap-up. We apologize for that. We just had so much happening, but we'll cover the Australia game and Argentina game tonight. We did stream that anyway, so, been having a lot of fun. My draft stars has been struggling. Says Global, Matty Tabe, welcome. All right, let's get into it, Sauce. Start with the NBA, and they've got 3 to talk about tonight. 3, and that's pretty much it for the basketball because it's 3 dominating sides, 3 teams that, well, 2 of the 3 are all 3 are surprising, to be honest. Yeah. And we're going to start with Boston because we thought with their troubles with their coach prior to the season beginning that they might have struggled. But they're sitting on top of the East and have the best record in the whole National Basketball Association. They're 20-5. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are absolutely dominating this league. Like, dominating. They are... Honestly, every game that they play, they literally alternate on who's going to shoot 30 plus. And the other guys having big numbers. So your thoughts on this Boston side who are killing it at the moment?
Yeah, they are killing it. I mean, it was an impressive win today against your boys, the Heat. They're on a back-to-back. Heat's, fresh, coming on a day's rest. They have Horford out, Brogdon out, a few guys out, but they still got the main 2 there, Brown and Tatum, and they just have such good depth. I think we, when we criticized them previously, we said that their bench depth just wasn't there, but I feel like that's maybe a thing of the past, and that they've found the guys that can fill in those gaps, and they've obviously also still got Robert Williams to come back, which is going to, help their defense, what is already a great defensive side as well. So, look, Tatum is my pick for the MVP. I think, he's probably slightly edging out Luka just because where Boston currently sit in the East. And, then behind that, I'd have Luka. But, I think Tatum, keeps it playing in this manner and Boston finishes a top 2 seed or top 3 seed, like, it'd be hard to, put it past Tatum as winning the MVP. He's who I've got at the moment. So look, they're chugging along, and I mean they're looking really really good. They had a good win against the Nets as well. So getting wins against teams that they're probably going to come up against in the Eastern, potentially in the Eastern Conference Finals, where I expect the Boston Celtics to make at a minimum, to at least give themselves a chance to go back to the finals. So, yeah, look, they're
Matty
playing
says,
really
let's
well.
make the fact that Jason Tatum is only 24 years old.
Yeah, he's very young. He's a good player, very good player. Yeah, he's evolved his game a lot.
Global says Celtics has the best all-round team in the NBA. The moment they do, they've just been so good. And like Saul said, when Time Lord's back, Robert Williams, it just helps this side even more. That's just a nice, handy piece to get back.
Well, you could probably
Global
play
said,
Al Horford a little bit more with the second unit. You know, that will help out
Global
the
said he's
second
still
unit.
looking good for his 12K multi.
Yeah, he's still looking all right. He's got a funny one going. Well, not a good funny one, but more than possible. I've seen it.
Yeah,
More than
it's
possible.
it's
They need
fantastic.
to keep it goal.
He also said that Booker, where is he? Booker's been balling out
Yeah,
recently.
he's been
Yes, he
playing really well.
has. He struggled today, but they did come up against one of the better defensive sides in Dallas, which, funnily enough, defensively they're so good, but offense is hurting a bit. So I'm surprised that they even win games against teams like Phoenix, to be honest, even with their great defense, because they've just struggled. They're just getting carried by Luca at the moment, absolutely carried.
Yeah,
So
they
yeah,
are. It'd be
the other
interesting.
one source, Memphis playing really well. No Ja Morant today. They still beat my mob handedly. Tyus Jones stepped up. Dylan Brooks stepped up. That's just the way that they
Well,
do it down in Memphis.
we know the depth that they've got. They did it a hell
Yeah,
of a lot of times. I mean, their record without Ja Morant last year was just phenomenal.
unbelievable. Yeah,
So, and they've got injuries. That's the thing. Like Desmond Bain's been out for a bit of time, and we know what a pivotal piece he is to the offense and the defense. So, look, they're chugging along. Grizzlies, I could see what they're doing. They're managing their players. Not playing them on back to backs at times, and making sure they've got the proper rest. And it's all about getting your team to the playoffs injury free, and then making a run at it. Yeah.
Well, the next two guys and teams that we're going to talk about, injury free, is probably should be their nickname because they are the complete opposite. But the first one is your mob. Are they back, or are they still? You're not believing into it. You're not buying into the Lakers at the moment. They're how far? You're 10-12. You are 3 games off the play-in, or 2 games off the play-in.
Yeah,
When
and
you were
one Anthony Davis injury off being absolutely nowhere. All right. Look, for as good as the play that we have put together, look, our defense has been very good. The thing that's helped us is we've actually been able to knock down some threes. I think the game in the other day against the Bucks, where we won on primetime television, it was an AD had a really really good game. We shot 42% from three, and we actually outshot the Bucks from three, which is amazing, and away from home. To get that win. It's just not going to hold up with the current roster we got based off percentages over a 7-game series. You know, the 3-point shooting is not going to hold up. Then they're going to be able to clog the paint. Anthony Davis, LeBron, not going to be able to score as much in the paint. When you're forced to shorten your rotation in the playoffs and go to a lesser unit, and you're forced to rely on guys like Russell Westbrook. Can you rely on him as good as he's been playing? Never really proven that he's a finisher or a big time, makes the big time play in the playoffs. I'm not saying he hasn't made it past in his career. I'm just saying in the playoffs or makes the right play. So look, I don't. But still with the current roster, we're not going to win anything. So look, we've been playing well. I hope we make the playoffs, so my team can be in there and can watch them in the playoffs. See LeBron get some more playoff points, but yeah, look, I don't buy into it, Doma. I don't buy into it, and
not
I
just
mean,
yet. Not
I
convinced.
think
All right.
I think there's a lot of people, Lakers fans out there that are starting to think, oh, nah, we should keep Russell Westbrook. He's coming off the bench and how well he's playing and everything. Yep, yep, right. You think that. You think that. The best thing we've done is put him off the bench so we can actually, maybe he's got some trade value because he's actually performing well. Now's the time to try get rid of him and get shooters around LeBron and AD, not
Yes,
keep him.
that's correct. You don't want to get sucked in by um, what happens in the regular season. You use what happens in the regular season to bolster your squad before the trade deadline, so you can then compete and potentially win a title when it comes to playoffs. So Saucy's on the money, but we'll see what they do. We know the front office is notorious in Los Angeles for making critical errors when it comes to moving pieces and getting pieces at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens. The second team and player we wanted to talk about, and the chat has been all over him because we are going to give our thoughts on Big Zion Global. That is who is next up. He's on the money. He says there's not much talk about the big boy at the moment. And Saucy, that is very true. He hasn't been playing with his full team. They've had a few injuries.
Yeah,
He's been
CJ
carrying the
McCollum was out for a
squad.
little bit. Ingram's
He's
been
been
out.
he's just been carrying the squad source, and he's been embarrassing teams. And there's been not one peep about
Some
this
good
guy,
some good
which
wins against against some teams where they've been shorthanded. The Pels just goes to show their depth as well. The Pelicans, I think people underestimate the depth that the Pelicans have got, and I mean that's probably why they're sitting in second seed currently in the Western Conference. Um, you know,
they beat the Nuggets yesterday, Source.
Yeah, they beat the Nuggets. Zion led the way. You had Jose Alvarado, 38 points. I think he had 10 threes or something like that, Doma.
I've got it here. He had 8 threes, shot 8 of
Eight,
11 from
eight
three.
of 11. Jeez, let's talk about lights out. He must have been hot.
But
Look,
he played with CJ McCollum, who shot 3 of 11, only had 7 points, struggled. So the team was carried
and he has
by.
been struggling since he came back. So the team, he's literally carried the team in the last 5 games. It's been all Zion. I've watched the games as well, where some of these games, and the coaching staff have said, we're putting the ball in your hands. You make the play. His assist numbers went up. His points numbers went up. That's a sign of a good player, of an elite player. That when other guys on his team are out, he knows, all right, I need to step it up. And if we're going to win tonight, I got to put up numbers. And he goes out there and puts up numbers, makes the right play for his teammates. And look, I don't know if you've seen some of his block the other day where he just came out of nowhere and just rose up and just said, "Get that out of here." And then when he landed on the floor, he gave a little hop and a skip and it's just gave a little high five, like, that's every day. You know what I mean? I'm doing that every day. Like, it's so nonchalant in some of the moves. Look, there's one thing he can improve. It's his defense. He doesn't move his feet very well. For a guy that moves his feet so well on offense when he drives to the basket, he does not move his feet very well on defense laterally. So look, there is still improvements within his game that need to be made. But geez, he's a freak, man. He's so good. So I think people relax, mate. Zion is here to stay. If he stays fit, and the Pels, have a fully fit side going into the playoffs, and the way they can gel and disperse the shooting, because at times you can see Brandon Ingram at times maybe taking too many shots, but when they got the side working and playing at their best, they're sharing the ball around, and it's an even dispersion of shots between those three, and then getting your other guys involved. So, and making sure you're getting those baskets at the ring with Zion, and that's easy hoops. I've seen a lot of two-man game with CJ and Zion, and I'll tell you what, it's very, very hard to stop when obviously Zion's so good at finishing at the ring, and CJ's got his little mid-range jumpers going, and his threes going. It's very, very difficult because you sag off CJ, you get hit with the jumper, and if you don't stay with Zion, he hits him with the little pick and roll bounce pass, and then Zion, it's one dribble step, and it's nearly a dunk every time. So, or a finish at the ring. So look, He's a gun, Doma,
He is the
and
freight train, as Matty Tabor
he's
said.
carrying
He
him,
is a freight train.
at the moment.
He's been very, very good. And Global said Kawhi came back today, which is great. And a credit
Hit a
to
game
Ty
winner.
Lue. Yeah, I know. A credit to the coaching staff at the Clippers, by the way.
Yeah, credit. Yep, do need
Because they're
a lot of
sitting
props.
sixth in the West, Source.
Had a shitload of
And
injuries.
yeah, they've been decimated for the first 20 plus games of this season. So good on them. They're doing a great job down there with their coaching staff, and the players are just helping each other out, which is great. He also says Dallas should have gone half, and Mitchell would have been perfect fit for Luka. Probably, but they didn't. So now he's
Yeah, I
stuck.
don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll
I'm not
see.
sure about that one though, because they're two
Yeah,
guys that
Mitchell's a
don't
bit.
play defense.
Mitchell's a bit ball dominant as well. Needs the ball in
Yeah.
his hands. So yeah, I mean, might not fit.
Yeah. All right, Sauce. Done and dusted for the basketball. Let's get on to what we've been all over for the last 2 weeks, and that is World Cup football. And we're going to go through all the last 16 games that have eventuated to this point, because we have missed a couple of them. And then we'll talk about a couple of the key matchups going into the next round. Starting on Saturday morning, which I think there could be there's a high chance that we could be live streaming almost every game on here out, to be honest, because the matchups are so good. They're so juicy, Sauce. So juicy. But we're going to start with the Argentina-Brazil side of the draw. And it all kicked off with the Netherlands versus the United States. They defeated them 3-1. It's the best we have seen the Netherlands play so far in this tournament. And I can bring it down to one thing, Sauce. And let's see if you agree with me or you disagree with me. I'm very interested. But Depay has been able to come on and have that impact. I'm pretty sure he started in this game, Memphis Depay. Obviously, the first few games, he was coming back from an injury prior to the World Cup and was trying to get match fit. So they played him in increments. So he wasn't able to play the full 90 minutes. He started this one and he had an impact from the get-go. And their wingers are very, very good. So they can play Gapgo out there. They can play Depay out on the wing. Have what's his name in the middle? I've gone blank. Braithwaite can play in the middle, who's a great player. Klaassen, I think, is the other one. He plays in the middle there for the Netherlands, and then De Jong can just pull the strings, do what he has to do with Berghuis, the left foot rocket. And they were too good for the United States, but props to the United States for getting to the last 16. There's a lot of young talent playing in quality sides all around the world, Source, that they potentially could make a push in their home World Cup in 4 years' time. Like there could be something there. It's all about the development and where they go. So hopefully they capitalize on this. Obviously, we know that their domestic league, the MLS, is a great brand of football. It's got a lot of high quality talent coming from overseas, but also producing some decent talent over there through the grassroots system. So that was my thoughts on that game, Source. I don't know if you got any comments on that, but I was going to let you run off the Argentina-Australia game and give your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, Netherlands too strong. Yeah, good tournament by the US. Probably got further than people may have expected them to. But yeah, came up against a Dutch side that I thought, if they did come out and play in the manner that they did against England in that first half and maybe got a goal up, it would have been danger signs for the Dutch. But the Dutch got that early goal. Then they were able to get a second just before halftime, go up 2-0 into the sheds at halftime, and it was always a tough road back from there. But yeah, I mean they did bring it back to 2-1 in the second half, still with 15 minutes to go. But Netherlands put the nail in the coffin not long after that. So yeah, US are out. The Dutch go through, and as you said, Dom, that was probably the first game that you've seen where they've impressed. So maybe the Dutch can qualify and beat Argentina in the next game. I don't see why they can't, because leading on to the Australian Argentina game, I was not impressed by Argentina. I was impressed by Australia because I expected us to lose by 3+ goals, but I was not impressed by Argentina. And I don't know whether that's that's more of I'm saying, more of a compliment to Australia and how well they defended, or if it's more of a dig at Argentina and how poorly that they played, and their lack of creativity at times. That I feel that once you come up against the better side, and and they left openings. When you're going to come up against the likes of Netherlands in the next round, I mean, they're going to be able to pass the ball and hold the ball in midfield a lot better than what Australia can. And, there's going to be probably a lot more times of the game where Argentina is running around and without the ball, and are forced to do a bit more defensive work than they were forced to do against Australia. But, credit to our boys. We made it a lot further than we thought we would. I didn't think we'd qualify out of the game. Out of the group, I thought maybe Tunisia might be the only chance we'd have at getting any points, and we were able to not only get a win and get a draw in the other, actually get 2 wins and qualify. We got 2 wins. I think we beat Tunisia, didn't we? 1-0, and then
we did.
And then we beat the Dutch, the Danish. Sorry. So look, well done, Australia. Matty Ryan. It's disappointing to lose in that manner with a mistake. I mean, the goal by Messi against us was, it was Messi like. I was going, off on the stream saying, why would you, when he gives off the ball, when you're right next to him, why you never stop following him, because you can't sag. Like, he gave off the ball. Riley McGree was right with him. He gave off the ball. Riley McGree stopped running. Messi never stopped running. Got a 1-2, and then that finish where went through 3 Australia players and also through a legs of Australia player and into the bottom corner was a very, very good finish. But we got punished in that lapse, that 1 second of lapse of concentration, and then the second goal was just, it's heart wrenching. If that stays at 1-0, you still win the game. Goes to 2-0, probably breaks it a little bit. We do get a lucky goal with Craig Goodwin, but yeah, and in the end, Argentina probably deservedly go through, and they didn't impress. Dom, as I said,
no, they haven't. Australia, like you said, we've defended for our lives in this tournament, and we've done it really, really well, and we capitalize on our opportunities. The lads definitely showed a lot of heart in every game, and that's one thing about Australia, Sauce, and it's something I made that joke in like the World Cup preview episode we did, where I said, like Australia is the Shinboner spirit. Like the North Melbourne Shinboner spirit is something that Australia puts into like their sporting on an international level. But the joke is it's actually a reality. It's one thing that our teams never do, and that is give up. And they will grind it out, and they will try and find a way to win, even when their backs are against the wall. Because more often than not, we are the underdogs going into a lot of these things. So we'd like to surprise the opposition by how hard we are at whatever we're competing at, and the determination that we show. So well done to the group of gentlemen and the whole entire squad there for getting to the last 16, coming up against Messi. A lot of those guys playing against their idol in Lionel Messi. So it was great to see them getting photos with him, which was fantastic. But they do come up against the Dutch next, as Saucy mentioned before. That game is on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. I think it's going to be a difficult one for Argentina because of, like Saucy said, the Dutch midfield can play the ball, and it's going to be the first game where Argentina, their wing backs, are actually going to have a challenge. They've played. I'm not trying to throw shade at any other winger that has come up against their fullbacks in the first 4 games. 4 games? Yeah, 4 games. But they have not been anywhere near the quality of Dumfries, Depay, and Gapco. Nowhere near. So those fullbacks haven't had to do too much. And they've been abused in those 4 games by lesser quality wingers, the Argentines. So the fact now that they have to play against 3 quality players and a striker in Depay and Gapco that switch around and with class and with a bit of size, that put a lot of pressure in the middle of the football field when they're attacking, and they actually have a strong counter-attacking football game, is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So I'll give a tip maybe in tomorrow's World Cup wrap up, but I'm leaning more towards the Dutch. If Argentina want to show us they're the real deal source, they need to get the win because they played nobody. So straight up, so far, as harsh as that sounds.
You can't falter the Dutch. They haven't lost a game. Won 2 games. Drew one in the group, and then beat the US. So I mean, for me in the tournament, the Dutch are looking the better
side. They beat
side.
Senegal. They beat Senegal. They beat the United States. These 2 teams are better than any team that Argentina's played. That's just fact. I'm not trying to rag on any other team, whether it be Australia or whatever. It's fact. So anyway, the next one's
to argue.
On that side, Japan versus Croatia ends in heartbreak for the Japanese. Went 1-1 into extra time. Extra time ended. They lost on pens to Croatia. A hat-trick of saves in the penalty shootout for their keeper was amazing to see. And they get the job done, Sauce. Thoughts? Convinced?
Which game was this, Dom? Which game?
Croatia, Japan?
Yeah, not convinced with Croatia. I mean, look, they got the job done. We'll just say that. They got to verse Brazil in the next round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, this has to be. I'm just calling it now. This has to be one of the bets of the tournament for me. Brazil to beat Croatia. It's money for jam. I mean, Brazil had such an easy game in their game today where they, absolutely demolished South Korea. We're up 4-0. They made up, a host of changes at the 60th minute compared to Croatia, who had to go the full 90 minutes, fight it out, come from a goal down, play an extra 30 minutes, and then go through penalties. And they've got the oldest list in the tournament. I tell you what, it's going to be tough to back it up in, got to back it up in 4 days, Doma?
No. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 days rest, and then they play on the 4th day.
There you go. 3 full days rest against the oldest list with the oldest list. I'll just say
and
that
the first
Croatia
game.
did
And
enough
they're the first
to get
game
by
too.
Japan. It was a good game, and but I don't see them getting past Brazil. And Brazil's my team to win the tournament, so I like Brazil a lot in that game.
I'm going with you. I'm going Brazil to beat them. What they did this morning to Korea was just literally their game plan was come out, annihilate them, and then let's just rest the team. That was it. And they beat them in literally 40 minutes. In 40 minutes of football, they decimated a side that got into the last 16. Just decimated them. Yeah, there's no other word. They killed them in everything.
Class above, man. They were just a class above.
It was clinical, man. It was actually clinical Source. What we watched and witnessed this morning.
Could have been more. Could have been 5-6 in that.
Yeah, but they took their foot off the gas, mate. You just want to rest your players. There's no point going hard and getting injuries. Like every player counts when it comes to a tournament like the World Cup. So they've done well there. Games tomorrow. We'll give a prediction before we get to the big one on the other side of the draw. So Switzerland, Portugal, Morocco, Spain. I gave a 2-2 draw, Morocco to beat Spain in extra time. That was on the World Cup wrap-up. And then I gave Portugal 1-0 winners over Switzerland. But that is a bit of a danger game. Source, your thoughts on these games tomorrow?
Yeah, I think this Morocco and Spain game goes to extra time.
Yeah. I hope it does.
Spain have, as good as they played in the first game. I mean, that was really against no one, and then proving the fact that was they against Costa Rica, they stink. And then when they've come up against some decent opposition, they've actually struggled. And Morocco's had a really, really good tournament. Much like Japan, a bit of a surprise packet. To make it this far. But with the quality they've got, Ziyech on one side, Buffal, they got Hakimi on the right hand side, who just gets up and down non-stop and puts great balls into the box. You got Amrabat in midfield, who's just an absolute bull. Doesn't stop running and just puts in tackle after tackle and just gets up and down the pitch, box to box. Look, they've got some danger to them. I like this go extra time. I still probably have to sway to Spain, but it would not surprise me if Morocco causes an upset. And I tell you what, at $7 odds, I mean that's the win in normal time. $7 odds, you probably get something like, I don't know what the market is for them to qualify. I'm just trying to find it here, Doma. If they're wherever
gamble
it is,
responsibly,
method, victory, yeah, gamble responsibly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to find the market. I can't find it here. Game decided in extra time. No. To qualify, here we go. I'm in the wrong game. It would help if I was in the right game, Donna. All right, here we go. To qualify, Morocco, $4.33. I'll tell you what, that's more than possibility. That's more than a possibility. I'm going to go Spain. This goes to penalties, and Spain wins on penalties.
Yeah, fair enough. And your thoughts on the Portugal-Switzerland game?
Portugal eat out it's going to be a close result. I mean, I think Switzerland's got enough. Like, I'm not impressed massively by Portugal's defense. They have had a couple clean sheets, but Switzerland do have enough quality there to play through them. And I could see them bagging a goal. But I think if Portugal wants to win this, they're going to have to maybe win it to 0, and then they need to win it in regulation time, because they take this to extra time. I think it could be danger, and Switzerland might knock them off. So I do like Portugal to win. I think Switzerland's good enough to get a goal. Portugal have been decent, but not outstandingly brilliant. I feel like Netherlands, if I'm comparing Portugal and Netherlands, I think Netherlands are a better tournament and have looked a better side. I'm going to go Portugal. They're going to win 2-1. Switzerland's good enough to get a goal. Don't be surprised if this one ends up in extra time as well. But, if you're any of these sides, this early in the tournament, you don't want to be having to go to extra time just yet. First game of the knockout stages, round of 16, you don't want to be going extra time. You want to save that for the quarters, semis, maybe even try to just get the semis and and the final, should it be. But, the more time and you have to put on them legs, it's going to really you're really going to struggle later in the tournament. So
definitely. Then let's move on to the last two games. We had England clinically defeating Senegal. They were so good, and I thought that they'd have an opportunity to potentially get a win here and pinch it. I did pick England to win it, but they just ran out of legs, and England they're very good. So
yeah,
they're very good. The fact that they've had 8 different goal scorers in this tournament already, and the 8th one was Harry Kane in this game, kicked his first goal now.
He's been good though. The way he drops.
No, he's been good. I'm not saying he hasn't been good. I'm just saying the fact that you're
more than just kicking goals.
Yeah, but the fact that your target man has taken 4 games to kick his first goal, but he was equal most assists
and undefeated in the tournament.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. I think the standout in this game, by far, is how good Jude Bellingham is. Like, get him out of the Bundesliga as quick as possible. That is just a waste. We are wasting him there, man. I don't care if it's a record fee for 150 million like they're talking about, or 200. I don't care. Get him out of the Bundesliga. No more Farmers League gameplay for this kid, man. He's too good for that league.
He is.
Way too good. It's honestly a waste of talent if we keep him there.
He killed it in that game against Senegal. He was, set up 2 goals. He was just on another level.
Just bossing. He's just bossing
I fully
midfield.
expect him to be in the Premier League next season. I mean, there's strong
Yeah,
links to
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
And it looks as though Jordan Henderson and Alexander Arnold are getting in his ear in the England squad, saying, "Mate, come to Liverpool, mate. You know you want to come to Liverpool." So, yeah, I mean, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm getting excited because he's an amazing talent. And I'll tell you what, look, I'm not gonna lie, I have been looking for a couple of Jude Bellingham cards because I think he's going to be an absolute baller, but I mean, maybe not the time to buy. Just a lot of hype around at the moment with the World Cup. Maybe just wait for the hype to die down. Wait for him to go back to his Farmers League, and no one's talking about him in the Bundesliga because not that many people watch it, and maybe he would just die off a bit. But he's definitely one that I've been looking at, and he's proven that. I mean, it's going to be a funny comparison going across their career. Musiala and Bellingham, and who's going to be the better player. And Musiala was amazing for Germany, and probably one of the only players on that team. At such a young age that could probably hold his head high after them. Being not qualifying. I think he played very well in a lot of the games. And you shouldn't really be putting all the hopes on a 19-year-old in his first World Cup at the end of the day. So, if you're the German national team, so look, it's going to be amazing to watch his career and how it develops, both Bellingham and Musiala. But England were too strong, and they absolutely destroyed Senegal. Senegal, as you said, they ran out of legs. They looked tired. They went those goals down. They couldn't even close down the ball, chase the ball. They were barely putting pressure. I mean, you're down and you're not pressing and trying to win the ball back as quick as you can. And they just looked out of legs.
Then the other game. Also, apologies to anyone that watches on Facebook. There's issues with the stream there, so hopefully that's fixed for next week. It's just dropped out. The other game was France Poland, and this was another clinical performance by the French. Poland get a consolation penalty at the end of the game, which was saved initially, and then because Lloris was off his line, Lewandowski got to take the kick again. But it was a consolation goal, and it posed the question to everyone's source: is Mbappe the best player in the world at the moment? He put on a clinic. He's just so good. I know I messaged you and Manny. I was speaking to both of you at the time, and I just want people to go watch those 2 goals that he scored. I don't. It is so hard to score that. I just want people to understand it is so difficult to kick the 2 goals that Kylian Mbappe kicked in that game. The fact that he sized up his defender for the first one and lifted his head, had space. The defender was in front, and he's just like, nah, creamed it the ball off a standstill, not moving. He just creamed it, and he just unsavable. And then the second one where he just took the light touch to his right hand side, and he just pinged it into the top corner. But I know the keeper
That
got
second
a
goal, Doma.
glove.
All right, that second goal. People, I think, don't understand how good of a goal that was. He had 3 guys around him, and the feather on that touch. If he touches that ball any harder, the defender gets the ball. Right, that first touch, the way he opened up his body, bang, right foot, it was just all in one motion. And as I said, if that touch is any heavier, the defender gets there, blocks it, and we're not talking about this second goal. It's 3 guys right there. It's not like they were far away as well, Doma. They were right there. So, look, just amazing. Every time he gets on the ball, there's just electricity in the stadium. People get excited. He's just that type of player. He's an absolute gun. And, maybe he is going to lead France to back-to-back World Cups. I don't know. I'm starting to doubt my statement at the beginning. I think, France is starting to chug along, and they're looking good. And with Mbappe on your team, you're always dangerous. You are always dangerous.
The 3 best teams with depth left in this competition are Brazil, England, and France. And unfortunately, England and France well, fortunately for us, but unfortunate that it's not later in the tournament, are playing each other on Sunday morning, 6 a.m. our time. This is the game of the tournament in terms of matchup to date. The attack of this one it's very balanced, Source. It's very balanced on both sides. The only place I see a fault on either side is the centre backs of England, because Maguire is looking so shaky when it's not good. Whether he starts or not, I have no idea. The midfield battle is going to be great. There's a slight edge for England there because of Bellingham and how well he's playing at the moment. But Tuchemani's holding his own as that CDM, and he's doing a really good job alongside Rabiot in the middle. They're killing it.
Rabiot's having the best season of his career, mate. Like,
yeah,
domestically, and he's brought that into the World Cup.
Griezmann's also playing as like that two-way type of player as well, dropping back and helping out.
Mate, Griezmann knows how to defend from his days with Diego Simeone at
this
Atletico
is
Madrid.
Source. This is going to be a ripper, an absolute ripper. This game, I can't wait for it. Too close to call. I'm just going to lean France because I don't know. And Mbappe's just got this thing about him, Sauce. He's a big time player. I just don't know. And Giroud is too. Giroud has kicked so many important goals, Sauce, when they are needed.
Leading goal scorer for
club,
France.
Yeah, for club and country, when he's called upon. I don't know. I'm going France, but just. It could go to pens, this one. Your thoughts? Are you going to give a tip on this one, or you need to process it?
I'll have to wait and see. Look, I'm leaning France. I like Mbappe. I think both teams will score. I think France, should have enough. I don't know. Just that Mbappe factor for me is just like they don't have enough. England don't have a guy like that on their team. I mean, they've got some really, really good players that can do some amazing things, but he's just on another level, man. He's just on another level. He's by far, he walks out into that pitch and he's by far the best player on the pitch.
He's very good. And if he's on, he's on. Like he's on. It's a worry for opposition, especially defenders. But yeah, we look forward to it. We'll revisit our predictions, obviously in the World Cup wrap up. We'll make sure we definitely get one out tomorrow, because that'll be the last of the round of 16 games, and we'll have a look at the final 8 as it moves on in this tournament, which has been fantastic, mind you, to date. Source, it's been a great tournament. So no matter what everyone said it was going to be terrible, yeah, that's what happens when you put politics over sport, Source. You try to make yourself believe it's going to be shit, when in actual fact, when you bring the best players in the world into one spot, it's never going to be a crap tournament. It doesn't work that way. So that's just what people need to remember. It's all about the sport and what's being put on in front of us. All right, let's move on to the NFL. Let's go through the games from this week. We had New England versus Buffalo. Buffalo get the win 24-10. Philly defeat the Titans 35-10. New York and Washington drew this game 20 apiece. Then we had Kirky Cousins defeating New York 27-22. Browns defeated Houston 27-14. Browns cut Baker Mayfield. I don't know if you saw that, Source. They let him go this morning, so he's gone. Detroit smashed Jacksonville. You were saying that Trevor Lawrence got injured in this game? You're muted.
He did get injured. I thought it was very bad because it looked really bad, Dom. It was like one of those tackles where the guy goes down and the knee gets caught underneath the weight of the other player, and his leg, like he got taken down and his leg twisted, and it looked really, really bad. And I thought it was something serious. He did return to the game and did play out the game, so obviously it can't be that serious. Maybe it's a bit of bone bruising or something like that. But I immediately thought he's done his ACL or MCL or something like that. PCL, one of those three. He's done something. But maybe he has, or maybe it's a light sprain. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the injury report, but he's back. He did play out the game, so
that's good news.
That's good news. Yeah, good news.
The Packers back on the winners board, defeated Chicago 28-19. Baltimore defeated the Broncos 10-9. Pittsburgh 19 defeated the Falcons 16. San Francisco slapped my Dolphins 33-17. The Seahawks defeated the Rams 27-23. Raiders defeated Chargers 27-20. Cincy defeated the Chiefs 27-24 in a great win. Tampa beat New Orleans 17-6 today. Put up 2 TDs in the last quarter after it was 3-13 Sauce, and they put up 2 TDs in the last and played good defense and won the game. And in the last game, it was 19 apiece at one stage in this Colts versus Cowboys game, and then Dallas defeated the Colts 54-19. They put 33 on 30
in the last quarter. 33 points in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Colts are so shit, man.
And you're still second in your division.
Now.
So you might be all right. Let's get to this week's game source. We've got Rams, Raiders, Bills, Jets, Bengals, Browns, Cowboys, Texans, Lions, Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Steelers, Ravens, Titans, Jags, Broncos, Chiefs, 49ers, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Panthers, Chargers, Dolphins, and Cardinals versus Patriots. So some good lineups there. Over to you, Source, for some UFC.
All right, Goma. UFC is if you haven't seen, ladies and gentlemen, UFC segment is sponsored by Roll Clean Soap, Australia's #1 in MMA, BJJ, and martial arts hygiene. Roll Clean Soap is a proudly family-run Australian business. Roll Clean Soap is made with 100% natural ingredients and helps keep you clean on and off the mats. Don't be the smelly guy at the gym. Walk in with confidence with Roll Clean Soap and destroy the competition. Roll Clean offers a wide range of products targeted in assisting post-training recovery. Our magnesium bath salts, bath bombs, Boost Balm can help ease those aches and pains after a hard training session. Roll Clean offers many soap varieties to choose from. Just visit www.rollclean.com.au or hit them up on social media at Roll Clean Soap. Roll Clean, we've got your back. Best soap in the business, ladies and gentlemen. 100% natural, Australian-owned business, small business. Support them. Rollclean.com.au. Get there and make sure you don't stink when you roll up into the gym. No one likes to, whether it be you're going just to train, whether it's MMA, BJJ, whatever it is. I spoke to my mate who does a bit of BJJ, and I said, do you ever come across people that just absolutely stink when you roll with them? And he goes, mate, there's always a bloke in the gym or two. And when you have to do group work and you go around in a group, mate, there's always just a few blokes or people that just absolutely reek. I'm like, do you struggle rolling with him? Like, mate, he goes, I've rolled with a guy where I was nearly dry wrenching, and as he's trying to put a submission on me, and I just had to tell him to get off, mate. He stunk that bad. So if you don't want to be that guy where no one wants to roll with you in the gym, definitely hit up Roll Clean Soap, because you will absolutely smell beautiful, and everyone will want to get a piece of you, maybe even try and taste you. That's how good you'll smell.
Oh, love it. Vinny, I don't know what happened over there, mate. Yeah, it just cut out. Apologies for that. I don't know what happened to it. We got a notification here on the StreamYard system and said, oh, you've lost connection to Facebook. So not sure. I'll post a comment. Use code DOMA to drop the soap. Drop the price. You dickhead. Saucy, give us the UFC segment, mate. What's happening?
UFC fight night, Thompson versus Holland was an absolute cracker of the card. I'll run through the main card and have a bit of a comment on what I seen. You had the welterweight division, Philip Rowe defeating Nico Price, third round knockout. Middleweight division, Eric Anders defeating Kyle Dalkas, second round knockout. A lot of KOs on this card, so it was an absolute cracking one to watch. Middleweight division, Roman Dolidze defeating Jack Hermanson with a knockout in the second round. Heavyweight division, our boy Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa got knocked the fuck out by Sergey Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich moves to 17-1 in that heavyweight division. And I'll tell you what, look, I'm looking forward to Sergey keep going, and I want to see a matchup this guy eventually against Ngannou for the title. I think it will be an absolutely cracking fight. So Pavlovich gets the win. Bam Bam got caught with a big couple of big shots really early on and just couldn't recover. And we know that's the way he fights. He goes in there and bangs, and someone's not walking out. He's standing up, that's for sure. Flyweight division, Matthias Nicolou defeats Matthew Christopher Schnell, second round knockout. Welterweight division, you had Rafael Dos Anjos, the veteran, getting a submission over Brian Barberena. And he then, after the fight, he calls out Conor McGregor, which is pretty funny if you ask me. And then main event, you had Stephen Wonderboy Thompson getting the knockout in the fourth round against Kevin Holland. It was, I believe, stopped at the end of the fourth round by the referees and judges. Kevin Holland took too much damage. It was an absolutely cracking fight. Make sure, if you haven't seen it, go watch a replay. Look, probably wasn't the best game plan by Kevin Holland to try stand up and go toe-to-toe with one of the best strikers to ever walk into an octagon in Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And, Wonderboy has lost a few of his last fights, mainly because he's come up against matchups against guys who like to, primarily grapple and wrestle and go heavy takedown guys that go for the takedowns and try get you to the ground. It just doesn't suit his style. He's never been that type of guy to, be really adverse in his ability on the ground. But when he comes up against a guy that likes to stand up and bang with him, he's one of the best in the business, and he proved that to Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland probably should have tried to take a few more takedowns earlier on in the fight. He didn't. Stephen Wonderboy picked him apart, and it's just when he's on the card, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, you got to tune in because he brings the show, and that's what he put on against Kevin Holland. Wins the fight. And, victorious in the welterweight division. Doma.
Here we go.
This weekend, UFC 282 main event, Jan Blachowicz against Magnum Ankalaev, light heavyweight. And in the co-main event, Paddy the Baddie Bimlet against Jaron Gordon. And then this is a cracking fight. This is one of the fights that I'm looking forward to in the middleweight division. Darren Till against Dricus du Plessis. And if anyone remembers me saying about this Dricus du Plessis, I spoke about him a while ago saying, rookie cards, get his rookie cards. He's going to be a good fighter. Looks like an absolute unit. I expect him to win this fight. Darren Till is, he's a good fighter, but he's always sort of recovering from some sort of injury. He's pretty injury prone. Du Plessis, I'm going to lean towards him. And then obviously I'll keep going down the card because it's even juicier. It's unfortunate that, this was supposed to be headlined by Yuri Prochazka and Glover Teixeira, number 2. I think Yuri had some sort of injury or illness, so he couldn't make the fight. It's unfortunate that they pulled Glover from the card totally. Usually they would get another heavyweight to step in and or another light heavyweight and step in and would have a fight, but he didn't. But under the Darren Till and Dricus du Plessis, this will be a cracking fight. You got Bryce Mitchell against Ilya Topuria. Bryce Mitchell is 15-1. This is in the flyweight in professional MMA, and Ilya Topuria is 12-0. This is going to be an absolute cracking fight. Bryce Mitchell is if you don't know who he is, look him up, have a look. He lives on a farm in the US. He doesn't train at like a proper gym. He's got like a training gym set up in like a shed on his farm.
It's like Rocky.
That's where he trains. And his weights are literally logs. literally
Yeah.
does weights with logs. It's
He's
like
literally Rocky from
it's
Rocky
literally
4.
he's not ain't in no state of the art gym, nothing, mate. He's just like a guy from the outback and countryside, and he's an absolute unit. And be scared of his submission ability. He's very, very good in getting submissions. So that's an absolutely cracking fight. That kicks off from the main card kicks off from 2 p.m. The prelim card kicks off from 12 p.m. So the prelim card will be. The prelim card's got great fights on it too. You got Chris Curtis against Joaquin Buckley. You got Jaritsuku Rojizuku against Chris Daukus as well in the heavyweight. Mate, stacked card. You'll be able to watch the prelim card from 12 p.m. on ESPN on free to air, and then from the main event and main card will be on from 2 p.m. And I'm sure you will be able to find a stream. If you can't, feel free to DM us and we'll put you onto one on the realms of the internet.
Perfect, Sauce. Very nicely done. Looking forward to this one. It's going to be a ripper. All right, let's move on to the Le Mans of the week. I've got one. I'm going to make it quick. And Sauce, no matter what happens when it comes to training and training sessions midweek before a game, whatever you need to do, Sauce, you got to be there for your teammates. No matter what happens, whether it's a beef with the coach or with your players. Trae Young had a beef with Nate McMillan. I don't know if you caught this during the week, Sauce, at one of the training sessions. And because of that beef, Nate McMillan said to him, he goes, either you come off the bench or you don't play at all. So Trae Young just said, okay, doesn't turn up. Doesn't turn up, Sauce, against who do you reckon they were playing? The Denver Nuggets. So he doesn't show up for his team against a top 5 seed in the West, and they get rolled. So for being selfish and being petty with your coach and you can't handle the criticism, Trae Young, you, sir, are a
Lemon.
I couldn't believe it, Sauce. You're playing against one of the top sides in the NBA, and didn't show up for his team. They got beaten.
Didn't they win without him the other day when DeJounte Murray was leading the team and he didn't play? Pretty sure they did.
Yeah, they did, but he was injured in that game. This one, he sat out. Didn't want
to. All
play.
I know is I watched him today against my boy Shy Gilgeous Alexander, who might add is absolutely a class above Trae Young and actually takes a dump on Trae Young in terms of quality of player and efficiency and usage ratings. And it's just all round a better player, ladies and gentlemen. And he was shit. He was good at facilitating the ball, but I'm telling you what, Doma, he shoots the ball from 3 like he thinks he's Stephen Curry. He's not Stephen Curry. Yes, he can get hot from 3. Yes, we've seen it in the past. Yes, great. But he shot 1 of 7 from 3 or something like that. 1 of 6. He got to the free throw line. Credit to him, but
he gets fouled a lot. So
but geez,
that's his
he's
game.
just. I'll tell you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, he's never going to accomplish anything in his career.
Unless he moves somewhere, plays with someone. Global said TJ Dillashaw retired today. Great career. TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, good career. Juiced it up a bit. That's all right. They all do at some point.
Oh. All right, so let's get to Hobby Talk, brought to you by Platinum Standard Grading. Thanks to the crew at Platinum Standard Grading for that one. Juiced it up a bit. I'm still fucking, you're unbelievable. There you go. Paddy Dangerfield. Slabbed up. Nice.
Beautiful slabs, mates. Beautiful slabs. Quality grading. the #1 Australian grading company that there is, and there's no question about it. If you want to defute the fact and say that there's another grading company, I've seen a video. I actually got to watch it from another YouTuber, trying to compare prices with CGA cards and how they're doing in the market to other things. I don't know. I haven't watched it. All I know is that CGA, I mean, as much as they've done for the hobby here in Australia, the quality of their grading is nowhere near the quality of PSG.
There you go. All right, Source, let's get straight into it. Tops Project 22. Only 8 hours left on these ones. We've got Christian Pulisic by our boy Tyson Beck. Of course, the best looking card here. That's just
hands down. The Gaza one. I like the Gaza.
Yeah, the Gaza's nice.
Well, I don't even know who that is. Who
you don't know who
that
that is? I'll tell you who he is in a second.
Is that the guy who is in the films?
No, that's Vinnie Jones.
Okay.
There's a Robert Lewandowski by Case, Marcus Rashford by Sunil Chitraka, Mikhailo Mudryk by Bofeng Lin, and Paul Gascoigne by Dan Layden. The Gascoigne is very nice. So, for those who don't know who Paul Gascoigne is, he is probably the best English player to ever play the game that was not the best English player to ever play the game. Due to unfortunate events, he became a drug addict Source while he was playing football, and he was like the bad boy of football in England. But one of the best to play. Fergie really wanted him at Man United. Tried to sign him, and his head was all over the shop, and bit of a mess. As a person, he played for England, and just go watch his highlights. He's actually a freak. He was very good. He wouldn't turn up to training, and
what position?
There's pretty sure he played in midfield.
Okay,
pretty sure, or Cam. There's stories of him actually getting pulled out of like heroin dens to get dragged into training, mate, or just to drag him out so he can sober up to get to the game. Like that's how bad like it was for him.
Yeah, right.
But one of the best to ever play. It's just unfortunate his event's just a bit of a waste of a talent. So there's the Project 22 card Source. Let's get into some interesting things. Here we go. Here's Product of the Year. It's not anymore. If you listen to us, you should have bought the Chrome in 2020. He is just the flagship. It's released. The release on December 2nd. We've gone through this before, but here's the design. This is what they look like. Go through here.
Yeah, look,
here's
guys,
the checker flag.
Just do your research on some of these F1 products coming out now. Do your research. Look at the checklist. And look,
These are nice.
The flagship from last year was a pretty average product. So I don't expect much from the flagship, top F1 flagship from this year. So
these are nice. The Art du Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's a
5 tracks.
Nice one.
These look horrific. These look so bad. Like
that's like what it's giving me that 70s vibes. The show.
Oh, that 70s show.
Yeah.
That looks terrible. Hopefully this is just the image that they're using for the card to show us, because it's the same image of Lewis Hamilton that they used for every product last year. Leclerc patch. The Art du Grand Prix cards down here. Gran Premio de España, so Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Then you got the Autodromo Nacional in Monza, Silverstone, Circuit of the Americas, and Circuit Zandvoort in the Netherlands. So I think they're super short printed. They're numbered. So that's probably the ones that everyone's going to be trying to get. Global says he's starting to look for Danny Rick cards. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Why not? Maybe a little less.
Get him nice and cheap, mate. You can start getting
Yeah.
your PC now. And if he drives again, that's just a bonus for everyone. Next one up, Source. I brought up World Cup Prism again because we've got the green ice packs being released by Panini. So I thought we'd just give an update. They release on December 5th, 11 a.m. to tomorrow. This morning. So every pack has 3 exclusive green ice parallels, and they cost 1,500 points on the store. So just went up.
I'm draining the milk, mate. I'm draining the milk.
Yeah. So
I'm draining
just wanted
the
to
milk.
show you. That's just an update on that one. Contenders Optic Basketball Source.
Favorite products.
Checklist has been added. So this
product.
one, we're going to go straight through this one. So the main set for 21-22 Panini's Contenders Optic feature season ticket and rookie ticket subsets. It's a nice looking Luca. Look for unsigned base rookie versions and parallels. This includes the hobby exclusive Black Pandora shown for Evan Mobley, which is a super short print. There you go. Optic base. Contenders Optic basketball base parallel breakdown. So there's silver, red, 75th anniversary, blue, orange, green pulsar, black Pandora, gold, and gold vinyl. Here's a nice Josh Giddey in the blue. I'm assuming that is. Or is that a green pulsar? Who knows? 2 inserts, lottery tickets, and uniformity. I'm not too keen on the uniformity. The lottery tickets actually looks really nice. The die cut superstar is returning. There's Ja Morant. In addition, legendary tandems is new this year. Other inserts consist all-star aspirations, hoop dream, playing the numbers game, pick and roll, and sweet shots. So boasting on-card content source, the 21-22 Panini Contenders Optic checklist works in several autograph sets. The rookie ticket and rookie ticket variation autos come hard signed. So there you go. On-card autos there, source. Hard signed cards in the veteran tickets. So you can get some Jason Tatum autos, it looks like. 84 tribute autos pay tribute to earlier Donruss baseball design with another batch of on-card autos. Charles Barkley on card. This releases on the 14th of December, Saucy. So next week. So 6 cards per pack, 1 pack per box, 20 boxes per case. I'll be definitely looking out for Lil Pool Man to be ripping these on the IG Live next week, 100%. So the hobby box break average is 1 auto, 2 inserts, and 2 parallels. And here's the checklist. Is there anyone in particular you want to look for, Source? It's just, I'm actually keen to see this. The 84 tribute, so the auto, Zion autos in this. So you can get Kevin Garnett, Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson, Zion, Charles Barkley, Stephen Curry, Luka the Don, Larry Bird, Dirk Nowitzki, and Karl Malone. So they should all be hard autos on cards.
That's a pretty good checklist for that subset. Pretty good if you ask
Legendary
me.
contenders. There's my boy Isaiah Thomas. He's in there. Anyone else? Hakeem Olajuwon.
The Worm. They got Dennis Rodman in there.
Yep.
They usually have
Dennis Rodman. Steven Jackson. Like Steven Jackson. And then, feel free to jump in and have a look. I'll chuck this right now in here for everyone to have a look. As Saucy said, it's one of his favorite basketball products and one of the best basketball products that Panini releases. The last one to look at is Panini Impeccable Football. So cards with metal bars embedded are also possible. New quad player edition featuring 1 troy ounce of 0.999 fine silver. There you go. Quads there. Football autos. Many being hard signed. Rookie favorite. The Elegance rookie helmet and patch autos line adds a new helmet and cleat version source. There's Kenny Pickett there. First year stars also arrive in rookie patch autos and rookie landscape. Look for returning favorites, first ballot SIGs, impeccable jersey number autos, and master strokes. That's a nice looking card.
This
Jerry
is
Rice.
always a precursor to what we're going to get out of the next coming sets for
Basketball.
NBA. So
yeah,
NBA is probably most likely going to look.
This is pretty cool. New sign
lot
options
like
include Hall of Fame autos, illustrious ink, immortal ink, and impeccable stars. There's a Dan Marino on card auto. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Limited 25 copies or less. Coming soon.
I'm a big fan of Impeccable Doma. I think it's very
Impeccable's
underrated.
phenomenal. So the average is 5 to 6 autos and 2 to 3 base parallels. 8 cards per pack, 1 pack per box. Release date is coming soon. So a few nice looking cards on the layout there. Hartman says, I would only buy product in store shelves, but now they're so damn high. Yes, product prices are crazy, and we're going to keep pushing on this show like crazy. Instead of paying that much for the box, potentially getting nothing, put that hard-earned money to getting the singles that you want from that product, because then you're guaranteed the hit. So instead of buying something and missing out, and then you're going, oh, I'm going to go back and buy another 2 boxes, and then blowing it again and getting nothing. So Global says, Retro Hoops done an awesome interview with Dan the Man this week. I need to check that one out. I missed that one. I've listened to all of Dan's content. I've caught up to all his stuff, all the sports car radio stuff this week. Just need to get on Retro Hoops and listen to what they've got to say. But Saucy, there's been a few things, obviously, you wanted to talk about. You've brought them to my attention, so I went and did some research and prepped myself for this show so I can be on the same page as you. The first one being, we mentioned this Panini lawsuit, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and you heard something that got on your nerves just a little bit, so you thought you just put it out there on our platform to just give your feelings on Panini being taken to court by a collector in this hobby.
Yeah, so like if people weren't aware about the whole situation about what was happening in regards to the lawsuit over Panini against people, obviously the lawsuit against the unfulfilled redemptions, and obviously if you've been keeping up with it, it didn't go the way of the collector. The court sided in favor of Panini, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. But the courts decided how they decided. That's not the issue I have with what we're talking about. The issue I have is I was listening to another podcast, right? Another hobby related podcast, and they've brought up this fact, right? About, Panini's won the lawsuit, and they weren't, they didn't come out and defend Panini, like out and out defend them. But the way that they were saying and referencing and saying, well, the people who are going and putting this lawsuit through probably got more money than sense. And, you see what happens when they potentially have this lawsuit, and then, it catches fire and more people jump on the bandwagon, and, they probably should have just saved their money and not wasted their time, because they were never going to win a lawsuit against Panini, right? It just got me going like, hang on. So you're saying that these people are stupid for actually trying to stand up to these crooks in Panini in the way that they're literally rorting the hobby, right? In their procedures. First of all, their fucking quality control is a piece of shit, right? They pack boxes without missing hits. They pack boxes without cards. And I was trying to get up the video, Doma, but I can't get the link because I can't log into the thing. So if you can get that link that I sent in that on that Twitter link, and we'll bring up that and show people what a joke Panini is, right?
Through WhatsApp? Did you send it to
Yeah,
me in
through
WhatsApp?
WhatsApp. Yeah, send you in
Yeah,
WhatsApp. Right, it's a
I'll
Twitter
get
link.
it.
And I'm annoyed at this other podcast and why you would say that. These people who have gone and put this lawsuit through, if they did win, it would be a big win, not only for them and the people that are in the lawsuit, but for the hobby. Yeah. Like Panini would have to give you more than fucking Panini points for your unfulfilled redemptions. Yeah. Like, do people not understand what they're doing now? Now they're going, fuck, we got over the lawsuit. Let's now tie up all these loose ends with these redemptions. There's nothing these people can do because we've already fought the lawsuit. So if it goes back to court again, we're all like, well, we already fought it once. So, there's no point going back again. The judge is just going to be like, you're wasting my time. We've already decided this in court. Throw it out. Like, now they're getting away with murder, Panini.
They set a precedent source in the courts now.
Exactly. So now, Panini can do whatever the hell they want. And, to say that these people have more money than sense, well, no, maybe they're just fed up with the crap they're being fed by Panini and these companies in the fact that, you want to get what you pay for. Now, Doma, if I went down to the local electronics store and I bought a fucking TV, right? And I wanted the 65-inch TV, right? And they, yep, I want that one. Yep. They bring out the box. The box says on it 65-inch. It's got the 65-inch photo on it. It's got the 65-inch label. You're like, beautiful. You take it to your car. You bring it back home. You're ready to set up the big 65-incher to watch the next World Cup game. You pull it out of the box. You go, this doesn't fucking look like 65 inches. Hang on. And you get the tape measure. You go, this is only 50 inches. What would you do? Would you just accept it?
And then the company says, well, we'll take the television back, but we won't give you a 65-inch television in return. We'll just give you store credit. So you can
don't even offer you a replacement.
No.
Just give you they'll just give you store credit, mate. And that's what Panini Points is. You would not stand for that. That is against consumer law. Right? The people understand that, like, it's against consumer law. You're not getting what you paid for.
Here's the video source that you're talking about.
Talk about getting what you pay for. Look at this, mate. Look at this. And we're going to keep supporting these absolute criminals in Panini. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this. Here we go. National Collegiate Basketball. Football, sorry. Is ripping a box open. There you go. This is National Treasures. Collegiate Football. Sealed. Boom. Rips the seal off. Bang. There's another little seal there. Cuts that with his Stanley knife. There we go. His little blade.
Up here.
He's excited. He opens it. There's no cards inside. No cards. An empty box. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the absolute joke of a company we are supporting and having to, support, unfortunately, because they've got the freaking license in Panini. They are a joke, mate. They are a joke. And for this other podcast to turn around and say that and have a go at the people that put the lawsuit against Panini, well, mate, do you really want the best for the hobby? Because the best for the hobby would have been the collectors winning the lawsuit. So Panini had to fucking actually get their ass into gear. Now they've got off scot-free, Doma. They've got off scot-free.
They have forever.
And it exactly brings it back to my point why I will never, ever buy hobby boxes, right, at the fucking bullshit prices that they are at right now. $1,000 for a hobby box, $700 for a hobby box, $1,500 for a hobby box. These products, they're more expensive products. $3,000 for an impeccable hobby box of basketball. Get the fuck out of here, man. First of all, you got shit quality control. You might get a redemption that you never end up getting, right? Or you might get no cards in your box. Buy the singles, you get the card that you want. Let some other fool open the boxes or break the boxes, then just buy the card off them. That way, you're never disappointed.
Not a bad way of looking at it, source. Global says SCR has a lot of talking about fraud. We're going to talk about that right now. Hartman says checklist with 400 players in them. Prison football might as well have the players' relatives. Matty Tape says I call a bribe with the court case. Hartman said I didn't want to say it. So the checklist cards are in our hobby lobby in America stores. Yep, checkered cards. What else we got? Matty Tape said, "Is that what the missus said, mate? Hang on, it's only 5 inches. You said 7." A lot of odd shit going on. Tops isn't doing great with baseball either. No, everyone's dropping the balls.
Yeah, we're not even just saying Panini, but like even Tops, man, they're just being pretty average. But
ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call being catfished by Panini. Well, Maddie, I don't want to say we told you so, but we've been talking about this for over a year and a half. I know, you know what I mean. And no offense to Sports Card Radio, because we are the smaller fish in the pool of the content creators compared to them, but we've been saying what they've been saying, not to the volume of all the stuff that they find out, but all the stuff in terms of like there's rorts on this and this and that, and they're just trying to take your money, blah, blah, blah. Because we're seeing stuff and people send us shit just because we don't flash it up on our screen due to privacy things because I don't want a lawsuit on our hands. Yeah, it doesn't mean that we haven't seen it all. When we said to you, we saw people getting flawless boxes for $400 from distributors and them selling it for 20 grand. We saw that. I saw the order sheet in front of my face. I saw the order sheet. Source and I were there with the person in question, and they showed us the order sheet on what flawless boxes were getting offered to them. And they were buying them up and selling them for that much. Like, we know that it's ridiculous. We've been trying to tell you all. That's why we keep saying buy the singles. Don't waste your money. The product, the boxes are... For the fact that the singles have come down so much and the boxes are still so high, that just tells me that you're buying exorbitant priced boxes to get cards that are worth nothing where
you're trying to literally hit the 1% of the cards in there that maybe get you back that price of the box. Like,
yeah. Tops is giving number cards from 2017 in silver packs. Aaron Judge auto signed rookie to 5 was pulled in a silver pack. Oh no. Nate from Bench Clear Media still hasn't got the cards back from PSA. He might not ever. Saucy's on a rant. Let's go. Bang. It's only going to get better. We haven't even started yet. Started doing custom cards, so don't hesitate to sell your bulk shit cards online. Someone will buy them. Just the quality control on Prism is so shit this year. They've gone downhill the last 2 years. Completely agree. Only hobby I bought on a pre-order is a Marvel box. Mate, the only box that Source and I have technically bought that was hobby on a pre-order was the new One Piece cards.
Yep, I got it right here, Doma. There it is. I thought I'd
that's
bring it
literally
up
what we bought.
The One Piece Romance Dawn, the first official One Piece set of this type of card that they're doing, very similar to Dragon Ball cards.
Dragon Ball Hero, Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, very, very similar to that style. So One Piece, if you're a fan of that, yeah, definitely a box. There we go. Fun rip. And I think Doma, the first release, they're already doing pre-orders for their second series of
because their first edition. Yeah. Oh, second series.
Well, they're not first edition. Yeah. This second series.
No,
this
sorry.
First series.
I saw that. It's yeah.
Yeah, and I believe those boxes that we bought are already, sitting at around $200, and they're not cheap, $180, $200. So the first releases on those boxes were around $140, $150. Now they're already sitting at $200. Dom reckons he's going to rip his. I know fuck all about One Piece. I'll just let my brother rip his, and I'll see what they look like. I'm going to keep my box sealed and put it away for a rainy day.
I'm going to rip it. I have to, man, because I watched the show, and I love the characters, so
yeah,
I have to rip it.
You know what, Toma? You should not
for
be
$150.
$150. Exactly. You should not be upset. And some of the cards you can get in there go for quite a bit. And you know what? Yeah. If you don't hit anything big, who cares? You
like the show, you like the characters, and that's it.
It's only $150. Mate, it's not like, you want to rip some NBA and you want to go get the a decent NBA box, and even just a shit fucking blaster is $100, man.
I know.
Like,
I know.
$80 for a blaster. At least this is a proper composed box, not a retail.
You're on the money. You're on the money. Hartman says, I hope that live action doesn't flop. Oh, well, I don't know. I'm not too confident on it. Let's get into the bulk of it here, Source. We'll try and smash through this pretty quickly. We're at about an hour and a half. But paycheck protection scheme. I had no idea what the hell this was. Source told me to have a look at it. And to sum it up in layman's terms, for people that might not know what it is, it's like the COVID repayment system that we got here, the COVID handouts that we got. It's to help businesses pay their employees and stuff like this. Now, Sports Car Radio's spoken about this. Dan's spoken about this as well. I'm going to just bring up his page. You can check this one here, right over here, the second video with the blue. It's got loan approved on the thumbnail. Check that one out.
Yeah, check it out. He explains it really well. And, like, obviously, Dan's an accountant, so, like, he knows a lot more about these.
He knows, than what we do.
He explains it really well.
Based on, what we learned from him and from Sports Car Radio, essentially, during the peak, not of just the pandemic, the peak of the card market,
when it was
all these companies were making a shit ton, Source. They asked for these repayments. And funnily enough, I've got a list of some of these companies here, which has been found by another person that doesn't like bullshit in the hobby, which is South Park Cards, which we've actually spoken to a fair bit in this hobby. And he's genuinely a nice person, like based on our interactions with him. We've never met him in person, clearly. He lives over in the States. But he brought it to the attention, picked up by SCR, picked up by Dan. And like Matty Tabe said, Jeff replied today with a video, wasn't too happy about what's been happening. But Source, I know you've seen some of this stuff. I'll just so you can quickly jump into it and give your thoughts. Golden, sports card investor, Burbank, BBCE, no surprise there. Firehand Cards, Leaf, and PWCC all applied for these. Obviously, they can use this money to pay their employees. No one was actually doing cuts during that time. They had obviously people away with COVID in quarantine and coming back and forth. But they were, Golden took out $174,000. Sports card investor took 2.1 million. Burbank 91 grand. BBC 100 grand. It's a lot of money for fucking cling film. 100 grand. Firehand took $112,500. Leaf $224,400, and PWCC took out $413,550. And what happened was they got given this money, which is taxpayers' money, which is funded by the taxpayers, and all of these loans were wiped clean. They didn't have to pay any of this money back to the government. It all got wiped, and they got to keep it all and use it to better the services of what they were providing us in the hobby during the time of when the hobby was at its highest and they were rolling, in cash. So, Saucy, I know you love this type of stuff. As you've always mentioned, the big companies always want just money, but they took taxpayers' money to create more money for themselves. Whether they paid their employees or not, who knows? They probably did, but I don't think they were strapped for cash during that time. So, just your thoughts.
Man, when I seen this, I was like, "What? Did we expect anything less from these companies? Like, did we expect them not to go ahead and try, game the system and get an advantage? I mean, why not? If you're for instance, like the funniest is Dave and Adam. There's a Instagram post shortly after they were approved, because it tells you, if you look up this, it's all public information. You can look up, say, type in Dave and Adam, you can type in Golden and whatever, and it tells you when they got approved for this loan and when it was waived. right? I'm talking about the payback was waived, right? What date that was, right? And when it was approved, it was like at the beginning of the scamdemic, and when it was just started, and there was uncertainty, right? And there was a lot of fear pumped into people by governments and by misled doctors who have now been proven to be wrong on this. So do your fact checks, ladies and gentlemen. And that's fine, right? That was at the beginning, right? But when they got waived, that was literally 6 months in to the hottest car market that has ever been, and even said by people who have been in the industry for 20 plus years that they've never seen anything like it in that 6 to 12 month period. These businesses were making ridiculous money. Golden, every second I was getting emails from Cardladder telling me record sale, record sale, record sale, record sale. I don't get as many these days because the market's very down, right? But every day, right? Every day, just record sale, mate. Everything going up, right? These companies were making so much money, right? Why the hell did they need these loans? Why did they need these loans?
You know my favorite one is Sauce. The fact
What?
that Golden took $174,000 and Ken just sits there and goes, "I've got a 9-figure bank account." So you're telling me you need 174 grand when you got a 9-figure bank account? Like, if that is not,
I live a 4-acre golf property on a golf course. I got a 9-figure bank account.
and he's
Let me
struggling.
just tell you, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done your research on Ken Golden, he's one of the slimiest pieces of shit on this planet, right? Go do your research. You can Google him and find out all the literally dodgy shit he's done, right? He's a dodgy motherfucker, right? Now, if I get pull a big card, National Treasures card, where am I going to sell it? Well, of course I'm going to send it to Golden because he's got the best promotion. Of course, he can have my money. I'll probably try bargain him with his
You're an idiot.
the agreement. But at the same time, let's not deviate from the fact that he's a slimy meatball, mate. He's a slimy meatball. All right, come on. That is the proof in the pudding, right? And mate, I'm actually done with these big companies, mate, because people look up to these big companies in the hobby or whatever, right? I don't even know what perception people have of them, right? But some people put these people like Ken and all that on a pedestal, mate, as the heads of the hobby, the self-proclaimed heads of the hobby. Who the fuck are you, man? You're a lemon. You're a slime ball, man. Look, you literally are. Like, come on, man. We want to have them as the head figures of the hobby, and they go to the industry summit and all play fucking friends with one another, but behind each other's back, mate. They're probably talking that much shit about each other, right? Mate, I'll talk shit about you right here on live, and you can hear what I have to say, mate. And I'll say the same thing to you when I see you in person at the National one year, Ken. I'll come up to you and tell you you're a slimy fucking meatball, mate.
Just go get it up. The fact that you called him a lemon in that sentence was hilarious. Oh, anyway, it's just...
Look, these companies, Doma, they didn't need the money when they were making so much money.
I know. You're preaching to the choir here.
All that's done is just increase the inflation within the US, right? Increase the inflation, made it harder for the average Joe, made it harder for the average person. Well, you got people living on a 5-acre property on a golf course with a 9-figure bank account, yeah? That didn't need the fucking loan to pay his payroll and utilities.
Hey, the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. That's society source in a nutshell. And that's why I'm with you. Like, these guys get put on pedestals, and
I'm still selling it there, James.
He said he's still going to sell it there. That's why he's 11. Sauce is 11. That's why it's so funny. He's hammered him and goes, "I'll send you your cards, my cards to you."
I don't have anything of value enough to go to Golden anyway. So.
It's just Sauce.
Mate, come on, mate. It's a big Global companies, mate. They do.
Yes. They're doing a Wayne Carey behind each other's back. Yeah. Difference is Oh, there is no difference. There is no difference. Fuck. I'm with you. They get put on a pedestal. They're the gods of the hobby, these guys. And yeah, they got eyes on the hobby. Everyone goes, yeah, they got eyes on the hobby. But when you can take a paycheck protection scheme payment from the government and use that as your little leverage to just put it all into promotion, not even use your own money. This is how elaborate I'm thinking now. And you're a big company. Why can't you get all the eyes on you? Just remember, rich people stick together. So they're all going to pump each other's tires to get as much money out
Mate,
of the market as possible.
There's some in there that have taken loans out that are literally breaking from their bedroom at home. Yeah. Right. And they've taken out $100,000
got a business name.
PPP
Man,
loan. Yeah, because they've got a
fuck,
business name. Right.
Man,
What
I wish
the
we
fuck?
lived in the United
You're
States.
literally one person breaking from your fucking your spare
I
room.
wish we lived over there. Bloody hell, we could have taken $1 million loan and had it waived.
Yeah, we could have just got paid. We could have just got paid for the next 2 years doing the podcast, and we've just been on the government, straight on the taxpayers. Just payroll it out over the next 2
just
years.
Go, thanks, listeners, for listening to us, and we're just going to take your money, stuff you. And then you know what would have happened if we did that, Source, and we got found out? Nobody would have listened to us anymore, and they would have cancelled us. But all these other companies, they just keep going back to them. Keep going back.
I'm not sitting here and saying that they fraudulently use this money for other purposes and not what they're actually supposed to use it for, right?
I know you're not, but I am. I'm saying I'm not going to name a company here because I don't want to get freaking. But I'm telling you, out of a list of all of them that did them, because there's more than what I've mentioned, out of the list of all of them, I'm telling you, at least one of them did it fraudulently for fraudulent acts. At least one. All right, at least one. I'm not going to name who I think it is because I don't want to freaking indict myself or do any type of shit, and someone has to come send me a, you know what I mean? I'm just telling you, out of this list, and we know the background, but Source, we know the background of a lot of the people on this list. Yeah, you're telling me that you don't think that at least one of them would have done this.
Okay, all right, you've swayed me. It hasn't really taken much. Well, mate, I'm telling you, that's in my thoughts, mate. It's in my thoughts for sure.
Okay, all right. We don't need to name who we think it is, or Hartman says you could have started backyard yanks and pulled guard pulls. Oh, well, that would have depended if Panini would have given us loaded boxes based on their serial numbers, which they probably wouldn't have. Maddie says a bit of a step up than a few soaps each month. Maddie. Hey, mate, I'll take roll clean soaps any day of the week over rorting our listeners. Fuck. Peanuts in this hobby. Anyway, that's what we got for you this week. Yeah, exactly. So do mine. That's all we got this week. The problem is, Source, when there isn't a lot happening in the hobby, unfortunately, due to like record sales, people start digging. And they've dug and started ungraving a lot of demons and skeletons in the closet for a lot of these people. And it's slowly unraveling for these people. You might not think it is, but it definitely sure as hell is unraveling for some of these people.
Well, old mate Kenny doesn't want all this to surface right when his big Netflix series is supposed to launch. You know? Mate, I'll just leave this out here. If you haven't gone and watched the video on Sports Card Radio, go watch it. There's also one, his latest one's just on pretty much on Ken Golden and having a crack at all the stuff he's done.
They're getting sued by him.
Let me just leave you with this, and then we're gonna go out. Mr. Golden, Ken, previously sold fraudulent autographs, which he put his own authentication sticker on, saying it's an authentic, a golden authentication sticker. This is in a previous company he had, right? He himself doesn't even sell those, take those signatures on his new golden.co platform to sell, even though he had got autographs with supposedly some authentic autographs. He doesn't sell them on his own platform. What does that tell you? Right? He refuses to sell them on his own platform. The bloke is a meatball, slimy meatball. He fraudulently autographed, literally did it himself, and flogged them off as athletes' autographs. Right? And that's just one of the things he's done. It gets worse.
I got a 9-figure bank account.
I live on a 5-acre golf course and I have a 9-figure bank account.
And on that
Let's
note,
keep supporting this Lambo.
on that note, keep living, loving, and breathing Swans as double coverage. I'm Dom with the Great Red Sauce. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Peace.
Viva la Brazil!
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double curve.